All right, guys, good morning to everybody. This is KEL, 14th of August, 2026. Crazy Global Market Talk with KEL. Crazy anytime, anywhere. Guys, I'm actually now in Indonesia, Jakarta. I just did a preview last night to a pretty good number of people, and they love it immediately. All right, and I can be very sure they'll love the class that's coming on this weekend. And after that, I'll be flying to China. All right, with more shows and stuff like that. So that is the reason why whenever I can, I'll do my best to come online to assist you guys on the market. And I believe that there will be pretty big movement coming in the coming stage. All right. So guys, stay tuned for today's sharing. So good morning to you, Janet. Good morning to you. This is how to pronounce this? Chung. Sorry. Jamie, good morning. All right, good morning to all of you. Okay, let's start the session. Disclaimer apply as usual. Please do your risk management. That is very, very important. Yeah, that is a very important thing to do. Morning to you, Susan. Okay, let's go into the fundamentals. All right, the S&P 500 has set to new record high to 7,800. The number that Tom Lee spoke about and the number that I also warned you guys that likelihood, this should be the top of the market. Okay, so I'm going to quote it here. I believe that the S&P 500, which is now trading at S&P, yeah, this point 7,800 is actually the peak of the market in my perspective. I believe that there will be a drop of at least 5% within the next 2 weeks. All right, I've given you my view back then. So what number would that be? So let me take out my calculator. So the number that we have right now is 7,800 multiplied by 0.95. We will see 7,410. So this is my view of the S&P 500 as of this morning. So I believe that the market will come off to something like this within the next 2 weeks or so. Okay, so that is my first blood this morning. All right, so what are the reasons? I'll show you as we go along for today's session. All right, I just made a sell position on the S&P 500. Okay, you can hear the little sound there. Okay, I just sold the S&P 500 at 7,800. Okay. Now, Iran war risks bringing the G7 fastest growing economy to a halt. That is definitely for sure, all right, without a doubt. And this South Korea Kospi has staged a stunning comeback, but the question is this, can it last? We'll talk about that. So I'm going to bring in the S&P 500 and the Kospi index to show you right now. Just give me a moment. Okay, by the way, SpaceX has hit $150 yesterday. The number that I shared with you last week, I told you that this is a good time to take some profit. So we call for a buy somewhere around here. This is where we called for a buy, remember? If you forgot, you can trace back what we said. This is where we call for a buy at about 120. And I tell you that you go to 150 for the SpaceX, which already triggered. Okay, so now it's time to take some profit off the table. All right, it's about 143, sorry. So it's back to almost to the IPO price back then, yeah? So do take profit on the market. All right, this is very important. All right, let's go to S&P 500 right now. Okay, so this is S&P 500. We have just touched the 7,800 level as of last night. So I believe that this is a good time for you to expect a pullback right downwards to the number that we just said earlier, 7,410. Okay, so how do we know that's a starting point? Very simple. Whenever there's a pullback in the S&P 500, there will be a very big black countdown, a big black candle that will engulf the red in front. Okay, let me show to you here. Let me push it back. Right, before the market crash over here, you can see that the black candle engulfed the red candle, and that is the start of the selling. Okay, So it's almost identical almost every time. So there'll be a black candle engulfing the red candle. So if you look back now today, okay, so we do not see an engulfing yet, right? Not really. So you can see this guy tried to go down, but it did not engulf. This one went up instead. So today or Monday, if there is going to be a black hawk down, the closing is going to engulf the red, then most likely this is the starting point. Okay, all clear? If all clear, press number 1 right now on your screen. All right. So of course you ask, what would bring the market down? Well, you don't need to worry about that. The market will find excuses to bring it down. All right, it will find an excuse. How does it find? Don't worry. Let the market decide. Why do I say that? Because you can see every time when the market's coming down, the volume actually reduce. So as you can see, the market is going up in terms of movement, but the volume did not accompany. So when that happens itself, right, the market is very, very tame. So there is a very high possibility that the market may pull back on profit taking. Okay. All right. So this is my personal view. So end of the day, you will make the call, trade the OP rule, and the target I told you guys is here, 7410. Okay. So I'll take a picture right now to show it to you. Also take a picture of myself in the hotel room. Okay, done. Okay, all right, excuse me. And let's look at Kospi, the market that we talked about, Kospi. Kospi is the Korea index, yeah, Korea index. See? Okay, so why do the market suddenly decided that it's a bull market? Okay, let me explain to you, okay? Now, in the financial market, when the market from the highest point drops down by 20%, this will become a very important technical point. And that's why you see on this particular day, the market literally touched the 20% mark and then rebounded very strongly, right? And then after that, when it go below the 20%, that is where it become a bear territory. So in the financial market itself, when market hit the highest level, all-time high, and pull back by 20%, it will enter what we call as a bear territory. So after that, you can see what happened. The market went down more than 30 to 47% from the highest level, 43% from the highest level, okay? And now it is rebounding. So how do the market now tell it's a bull market? Because if you look back again, now if you compare to yesterday's closing, we are still down by 26%. So it's technically not a recovery, it's still in the bear territory. But the way the media structure is that because the market from the lowest end, from here, rebounded more than 20%. So therefore, they call it as a bull market. So it's really very incredible, nonsensical stuff created by the media. All right, because when the market dropped by 40% down and recover by 30%, it's not up by 30% because, as you know, that is from the bottom up by 30%. It's not from the whole entire movement. You look carefully from the highest level here to the lowest level here, 50% is somewhere around here, right? So the market didn't even go above the 50% mark. So this is why I believe that this is not going to sustain. I believe that the Korea market is going to dive again. All right. I repeat myself. I believe that the Korea market is going to go down again. All right. Kospi, yeah, this is Kospi. All right. To me, this recovery is very fake. It has no sustained power. And I believe that the Kospi index will have to trade down again. So if the Kospi index go down, then that will give you a very good reason why the S&P 500 will be coming down in the next few weeks. All right, that's my personal view of the market. All right, let's let the market decide. Okay, now any more financial news? Let's take a look. Well, practically that's all. Nothing else. Yesterday, the day before, that was a solar eclipse on my birthday. Interesting. All right, and after that itself, there's nothing much to do. Okay, all is good. All right, so that is the fundamental news for today. Now let's look at the technical. Okay, no drawing on my screen. Okay, let's see whether can I pop up the MT4. If we can, then no choice. Yeah, let me just try. All right. Seemingly not possible. Yeah, from the way I look at the screen right now. Okay, that's 80 of us today this morning. Okay, my screen obviously you can see it's not moving, not really moving at all, but it's okay. Let me show you the new baby that I have to share with you before we go back to the technical side. Yeah, let's hope I can click it up and show it to you. Just hang on a minute. Okay, while you worry watching this right now, then I must talk about this. This is the new baby that I have, and this is the K trend. All right, K trend. Okay, so you look carefully, it's all the K trend. Why? Take a look. So this guy, the arrow is here, right? So it belongs to this guy. Can you see that? So K trend, this is a lower yellow. So a lowering yellow, the moment the candle turn red, the K trend will surface. So which means that when you see this thing happening and you see an arrow at the bottom, that means that this is a qualified K trend. So rather than you trying to figure it out, is it K trend or not, you have this immediately. Okay, and there's two versions here. This is the K trend version. There's another version is a KDK. KDK means that it comes with K trend, comes with diamond line, comes with KSI. The three of them come together, then you will have the impact of the KDK. So this morning, I actually tried on it and it works very good. Well, again, my screen is hanging over here, but let me just show to you how it looks like later on through some charts. I can show you what we did this morning. Let me just bring up my Telegram. Okay, just hang on a minute, yeah? Okay. Okay, so on your screen right now, can you see this? This is this morning trade. All right, this morning, when I was trading the market, I have the KDK on it on the 15-minute chart. Just try it out for fun, and you can see that the K trend pop up, right? Because this yellow compared to the yellow here, this guy has a lower yellow. So what happened is that this is a K trend function. So when the market, excuse me, turns red here. So once the market basically here turns red color, all right, I know that it's a sell. So what do I do is that here on this particular candle, I will sell. Now, because it's above OP, I sell small. And my stop loss, I must put it here. This is my stop loss. Okay. And because it's K trend, we know that K trend means that the market will be going for the stop loss of the people who buys. So people who buy here, their stop loss will be placed here. Agree? So naturally, if I sell here, which is here, if I sell here, my TP level will be somewhere around here. At least that's a first blood. So this is my TP level. Can you understand that? And because of that, I sell here. All right, and then my TP is over here. Now, this style of trading, right, the accuracy can be as high as 80% and higher, okay? That means that if you actually use this to trade, the accuracy is as high as above 80%. All right, okay? So yes, indeed, Richard, yeah, the arrow is still a bit too far away. We are trying to make it closer. All right, because the arrow and the diamond line sometimes may clash. Of course, it's very rare, but it may clash. So my IT guys, try to be very, very safe, put it a bit far away, but this is still a bit far away. We will put it nearer. So the next version, probably this weekend, he'll make it even closer to make it more visual, yeah? I also have this problem. I couldn't see it. Thank you, Richard, for mentioning that. Yeah, we want to also do that. So what happened is beautiful is that means that when you actually see this, when you see this guy turn yellow, right? The computer system is already calculating whether is this a K trend. So the moment this guy turns to red, immediately this K trend arrow is already on your screen. And that means that you can sell here. Okay, let me just, you can sell here and put a stop loss here. So stop loss will be placed here. This is where you sell. And same idea, right? So if this is where people will buy, the sell is done here. The stop loss by people we put here. So this is your TP point. Can you see now? Yes, indeed. So this is very good for scalping. It's very good for positioning. So it's very the utility, the volatility is very interesting. And the most important thing is this: you are using the stop loss of traditional traders, the conventional traders, to become your TP level. And with the K trend, you are doing that. So if the KSI happen to be red at the same time, you can go for heavier sell. But if the KSI is green, then you basically reduce the quantity of your sell. Got it? All clear? Right, this new baby will be available by the 1st of September. All right, it will be available on the 1st of September. All right, so guys, give me some time to work it out and come back to you on this. Is all right? All clear? If all clear, press number 2 right now. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Just sort of, what time frame is it working best at the moment now? I think M15 is pretty good. M15, very safe, very you know, the hit rate is not so heavy. That means there are not so many trades, and the winning trades are pretty high. Okay. Now I cannot be 100%. I'll confirm with you. That's why we need another 2 more weeks to go through this. But the concept is definitely there. All right. So guys, this is how we do this. This is a new available play. And of course, when we combine this later with the CRAZII AI board, and we together with the CRAZII EA, I think this will become the final product. Yeah. So all these things are ongoing, onboarding as I'm speaking right now with all of you. We are really pushing everyday technology to the maximum to give everybody something good to take back home. Okay. All right. So that settled the thing here. All right. So does it work on the buy side? Yeah, indeed, it works on the buy side. So I'll come to that later. Yeah, just give me a moment. I'm trying to get something up first here. Okay. All right. So because now my screen is jammed, you can see I cannot move my stuff. So, but then for the buy is the same. So how does it work? You can see this one. There's an arrow here, right? So it comes from this guy. So you buy here. Your stop loss, you put it here. This is your stop loss. And then because of the same concept, this is where the TP level, the stop loss of traditional trader. So you buy here and you go for the TP, and that is actually around almost $20. Yeah, looks small. Yeah, the candle looks small because now it's been compressed. But if you actually later put it up, right, you can see that the reward is quite big. So your stop loss about $4 or $5 on the M15 chart, and then your TP can be as high as $15, $20. So the risk reward ratio is about 1:3. So it's very good for trading. Okay, cool. All right, so this is available in the near term. So guys, watch out for that. Okay. All right, I cannot continue. My MT4 is not available to do with the internet here. So it seems that it's very selective. Yeah. So let's go back to our own our own chart here. It's moving. Oh, gold is coming down as we are saying. Oh my God. Okay, gold is coming down. Okay. Okay, let's look at the day chart now to start the day analysis. Okay, just give me a minute. It's incoming call. Just shut them off a little bit. Okay, so what's happening on gold this morning? Let's just recap. Now, this morning, gold, the opening price is already below pivot 2. So without a doubt, when the market opens below pivot 2, below OP is 100% a sell. I repeat myself again, below OP, below pivot 2, 100% is a sell. Okay? And if you look carefully, there is nothing to stop the selling. There's no extra KCB. So the market likely today, there is a potential for the gold to go down all the way to 4239. I repeat, 4239. So where are we now? 4323. Oh my God. 4323. And the target is 4239. We're talking about $90 potential downside. Now, of course, again, you ask, Kel, how can that be? Guys, when we use crazy, we don't care what we compare what should happen. Now, what should happen means that you base on the context of the market, you base on the how the thing work, and then you trade accordingly. So there is nothing here. There's no KCB, nothing. So yes, indeed, the KSI is green, the KCX is black. So by right, there shouldn't be a reason to sell. But yet, you must remember today is a below OP, below pivot 2. And I told you guys, pivot 1 and pivot 2 is actually our very powerful technical tool for CRAZII. So that's why we have to trust the pivots. So this is the first thing. Now, second thing is that, as you can see, is below the MLP. That is, again, another very strong reason to sell. And also, if you look carefully, it's also below the MA200. The MA200 is over here. All right, so it's still considered a weaker trend, but the MA30 is something that I want you to take note. Now, MA30 is over here at 4188. Okay, so if the thing says so in advance, if the market can come down to 4239, if you ever come down, then 4188 is possible because that's MA30. And MA30, if you look carefully, is part of the KCB. That is the day that the gold rally up, right? So there is a potential for the market to come down to here to test it before a potential rebound. So it is possible that we can see this happening, okay? And even it comes down to this number at 4188 is the middle ground of the entire candle, right? So it is actually fair for the market to tell me that, that the market is to, from the base, goes up and pull back by 50%, then after that go up again. It is possible, right? Mathematically, it is possible. And that's why I say that if it comes down, it's not a bad thing. It could be a good thing for the market to come down first and then go for the big one here. So traders, this is my view of what I believe that could be happening over the next 2 weeks for gold. All right, all clear? If all clear, press number 3 right now. Okay, all right. So that is the view of gold in the next 2 to 3 weeks time. Okay, right. Thank you. All right, next market. I'll look at a 5-minute chart to understand this earlier. How did we trade this morning? Okay, so this morning gold open here. This is where the opening price is. Now, some of you ask, how do you know that opening price is here? Because there's no vertical line. And Kel, why got no vertical line on the opening price? This is a charting issue because we are using the background itself, right? This particular charting software, they don't allow us to put a vertical line. For some reason, they just don't allow. Maybe we don't have technology, maybe we don't have skill set, but the point is that we couldn't put it in. We've been trying to do that, but it doesn't really work. So that's why we can't really have a vertical line. So now how do we know that that is opening price? Oh, very simple. First of all, you check the timing. That is the timing. All right. Second thing, you check if the opening price, which is here. So obviously, you can see the opening price is actually here. Okay. All right. Good morning to you. All right. So what happened is that this is opening price. So initially, I also buy gold. Right. I bought gold up. I think that's going to go up. Then after that, it didn't go to KTR plus 1. Now, when the market is so bullish and it doesn't go to KTR plus 1, I always believe that the opposite will happen. That is something that I always believe. Then after that, the price of gold came down, break below OP. So I sell here. So after I buy, I sell, I cut loss, I turn short, right? But small short. Then after I sell, immediately this big yellow candle come in and basically I got caught here again. And I know in my experience book is that when the market sell, then buy. Okay, buy right. The candle sizing should be able to touch the KTR plus 1 easily. But as you can see from the chart, as the market was climbing, the KSI already turned red. Can you see? The KSI actually turned red over here. So I can make it bigger for you to understand this better. And gold is coming down. I believe it's going to go to KTR -2. Yeah, I believe that. So when the market was going up over here, yellow candle, right? You notice the KSI already turned red. So that is where I get very suspicious. I find that something may be going on the opposite side. All right, I believe it's going to go down. Yeah, I'm going to touch this KTR -2 here in a short while. Yeah. So after that, I put my diamond line, and that is a very key point. So when the market goes below the diamond line, I know that this is going to be a sell. So once the market goes below diamond line, I cut my long again, and then I turn a small short, and when it go below OP, I go for a big short. Can you understand this? So here's a small short. Here's a big short. Okay, so I shorted down and went for my KTR -1. I booked some profit, and after that, I see it rebounded, but it couldn't go up. Breaks again below KTR -1, and I'm going for KTR -2 right now, and I think my position should be done. Let me just triple check. Yes, I think so. Yes, I think it has been done. All right, so that is how we trade live today. Congratulations for those who follow in me to short the market earlier. All right, so that is the power of trading live, and you can see that I can trade live with you guys anytime. I have no qualms about it. It's very easy for me to do all this type of thing. Okay, so this is done, and that's how we traded in the gold for this morning. Yeah, okay, good job done. So now the thing is this, you can see that it's so perfect. It stopped at KTR -2 exactly. Incredible, right? So that is how accurate is the CRAZII system. You cannot put your TP level at exactly level over there. You need to put it somewhere near there, but not exactly there. Okay, so if gold is to continue to go down, okay, just to show you guys the impact. Okay, earlier again, someone requested me to show. Okay, I'm just showing it right now. Okay. Okay, so if gold is to continue to go down, where would it go? The next target, as you can see, will be KTR -3 at 4300. That's for gold. Okay, and if you look at it further down, you notice that there's nothing. There is nothing from here to here. After 4300, there is no support. No technical, no MA, nothing, empty, all the way down to KCB 4329. Understand? So which means that if gold really break KTR -3, sorry, it will be a free fall all the way to 4329. 4239. Gosh, what am I doing? Sorry. 4239. All right, if gold is to break the KTR -3 at 4300, that is a free fall all the way. Okay, so again, whether you think it will happen or not, I let you decide, because this is trading. No one can predict the future, but of course we can use it as a form of a guidance. Now, once it goes there to 4239, would I be looking to buy? Naturally, yes. I will look to buy back my short position. Yeah. Okay. All clear? All clear. Press the next number, please. That's number 4. Yeah. Okay, let's look at other markets for this morning. Dow Jones. Now, the Dow Jones, I think a lot of people have realized that, right? The Dow Jones, I already told you guys that the last few days, the market really not moving. It's not very not comforting. And this is not a good sign, because the market is just basically towing its way. So today, we have a red candle. Today, we have a KSI turning red. So with that, that means that we should be very careful, all right? We should be very careful today. So that is the reason why I believe that S&P 500 will most likely pull back, and that will send the Dow coming down back to 52,721. Where are we right now? We are 53,800 series. So we're talking about 1,000 point in the market. Okay, we're 1,000 point downside. All right. So with the market sideways, there's no much reason, and it's very clear that the Strait of Hormuz is not going to open in the near term. And Donald Trump, being as him, is trying to again coming in and instead don't try to be a show off by saying that okay, if you're not going to do that, I'm going to do this, going to do that. To me, it's just part of the game. All right. So guys, stand by for crude oil. Now, just this morning, yesterday, I think my brother Yao Tong was talking about crude oil. I agree with him. It's a good time to buy. So everybody take a look over here. Let me show to you the context of the MLP. Yeah, this is actually the elite program. So you look at this guy. This is the opening price of oil and closing oil that was happened on the 10th of August. A very big movement because that was where they were expecting the Strait of Hormuz not to be open, and then blah blah blah. Okay, so now take a look. If you take this and divide by 2, you get this point exactly. Can you see that? You take the MLP of the big yellow candle. The in-between is exactly here. Got it? So that is why I think that the market has a technical rebound potential. And now MA30 is nearby at $80.61. So if the market can basically break above MA30, I think today there's a high chance that oil will trade up to $82.21. And if it does that, because this is the downtrend movement with the KSI green, this is an elephant trade. So there is a potential for the market to go back up again to the $83.50 range. So for me, oil trader, it is possible for oil to go back up to 83.50. And again, this is a weekend, so it is possible that the US side may try to do something again as usual over the weekend. Yeah, this is a very repeated thing. They always do this to make some money over the weekend. So traders, you can actually watch out for that. Okay, all clear? All right, so this is something that we can take a look here. All right, all clear. Press number 5 right now. Now today's Zoom is a bit longer than usual because there's a lot of things that I want to share with you. Yeah. All right, last one, Bitcoin. Now Bitcoin, as you can see, has been coming down. I already tell you Bitcoin is coming down. I've given you my view. Already 2 days ago, I told you there's a blue 4 diamond here. So once it goes below the diamond line, it's a sell. So that's where we call for a sell. And the MA30 was here. MA30 is at 64,157. It's below the now trading below the MA30. So therefore, I believe we're going to see this 62,480 coming in for Bitcoin. So I'm calling for sell on Bitcoin. I believe Bitcoin will go down. KSI is red, KCX is blue. That definitely give you the strong sell signal on Bitcoin. So traders, if Bitcoin is coming down, naturally Nasdaq will be coming down. So traders also please kindly watch out for this trade that's coming in. All right. And of course, if you want to look at the Nasdaq, I can just do it for you. I'll be pumping out a lot of market calls shortly later on to just make sure that everybody can benefit from it. For some of y'all, I know you guys see the market under very late. Yeah. Okay, last one is the Nasdaq. Okay, so this is a Nasdaq, and Nasdaq is resilient because it's a K trend available here. K trend, you can see very nice. Creolo rate higher, so it's a K trend. So that is why the market is so strong recently on the Nasdaq. So the Nasdaq here now we have a trading below OP, and there's a 4 diamond here. So we put a line across it. That means that if you redo this again, let me just draw this better. Okay. Right, you have a 4 diamond, you draw it there. So if the market cannot cross above the 4 diamond line, there is a chance for the market to pull back. All right, and that is the first KCB that the market is going after, 29,716. Okay, all right, so that will be all for today's sharing. So I believe that if you actually concentrate to trade today, today will be a very good day for trading. Okay, so stay tuned with me, and I wish you all the best for trading. All right, take care, guys. See you on Monday. Bye bye.